when I use the word balance, I'm talking about having a balance, or what I call creating an alignment between our thoughts, what it is that we would like to be able to create for ourselves. If you would like to be able to create abundance and well-being and great relationships, or be able to get a job that you want, or be able to, fulfill an inner nagging destiny that you feel you just haven't been able to fulfill, that we have these desires, we have these thoughts that we put out there that we'd like to be able to manifest and create. And then we also have habits, and those habits don't very often match up with what it is that we would like to create. That people who believe, for example, that they can create well-being in their life and that they can heal themselves don't ever go around with the habit of thinking that it'll probably get worse and isn't this awful, and even the habit of always constantly taking pills and having somebody else diagnose your problems for you and so on. You have a sort of a trust that you begin to develop for yourself that is in harmony with what it is that you want for yourself. So if you want to live a life of well-being, you have to really look at what kind of images and thoughts that you have inside of you that are either keeping you aligned with that or keeping you distant from that. And this is true for creating prosperity. I mean, people that absolutely know that prosperity is something that they can create, or a relationship of love and kindness and joy is something that they absolutely insist upon. They don't have habits. If they are living that way, they don't have habits that are critical of another person, or believing that that your luck has always been bad and that other people's are fortunate than you are, and things like this. You shift around and understand that habits are just our habits of thought, and that our actions come from our thought. So I'm just this first chapter is a principle. I call it an infinity of forests lies dormant within the dreams of one acorn. Just think about that for a minute and hear it in again. An infinity of forests lies dormant within the dreams of one acorn. So here, and this is a metaphor, obviously. You've got an acorn, and buried deep within that acorn in an invisible place is the potential to create an entire forest, an infinity of forests, in fact. But it isn't going to happen unless this acorn is nurtured in a certain way, unless it gets itself into alignment with the creative process that allows all things to flow and to come into the world. So the metaphor for this is, for you out there listening, is that an infinity of possibilities of being able to create virtually anything that any other human being has ever created or done. An infinity of these things lies dormant within the dreams of you, one little acorn, one little being. But if you don't nurture it and you don't provide for it and you don't allow it to flourish and to grow and to manifest in the way that it's destined to do, then it will just wither away, just like an acorn that will wither away if it's not nurtured properly. So I have a little section in this first chapter. This is a little book. I love this little book. It's a green book. It's what we call a puffy book. It's very similar in design to 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. It's just coming out this month. In fact, this week. It's just being released. And I think there's 9 of these. I think you're going to really enjoy it, I was going to say. And there are 9 of these principles for getting yourself back in alignment with virtually everything that you'd like to create in your life. If you're overweight, if you have addiction difficulties, if you're having struggles in relationships, if you're having trouble with prosperity, all of these and others are all dealt with in individual principles. So I call this restoring the balance. The objective of this principle, I'm just going to read a paragraph, is to create a balance between your dreams and your habits. The least complicated way to begin is to recognize the signs of habitual ways of being, and then learn to shift your thinking to be in balance with your dreams. So what are your dreams? What is it that lives within you that's never gone away? What inner nightlight continues to glow, even if it's only a glimmer in your thoughts and dreams? Whatever it is, however absurd it may seem to others, if you want to restore the balance between your dreams and your habits, you need to make a shift in the energy that you're contributing to your dreams. If you're out of balance, it's primarily because you've energetically allowed your habits to define your life. Those habits and the consequences thereof are the result of the energy you've given to them. And that's the most important thing I've said in there. If you're out of balance, it's because you've energetically allowed your habits to define your life. And most people's lives are defined by their habits, habitual ways of acting, of thinking, in response to virtually anything that might give them the opportunity to create and manifest their dreams. What they do instead is they go with their habits of telling themselves it's difficult to change, or it probably won't work out, or nobody will understand, or I can't make this move because of all the requirements that I have, or because of all of the things that people have told me in my family and so on. All of these kinds of habits that you have in your life are what are dictating your life. And what I'm asking you to do in being in balance is to allow your dreams, your inner vision, that inner nightlight, to not only become less than a nightlight, to become like a floodlight and be the guiding principle in your life.